All right. Good morning, traders. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be going through live order flow analysis. Forward looking, we always do this. This is what we've been doing for years. And we can do that with order flow. The order flow allows you to understand the participants in the auction at a much higher degree than looking at bar chart data and a few indicators, which really doesn't give you much transparency whatsoever. And I can show you that right off the bat in Bookmap if you're new. Anyway, we'll cover any market that you guys want to look at, and we've been going through order flow basics recently just to give some insight on even for the advanced traders that are used to Bookmap, but maybe look at things a little bit differently and start to integrate even more within your trading what you can get from the heat map and understand how to read it and how to use it in your trading. All right, so general disclosure, all Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. A few news items here. We have a beta program that will give you access to multiple add-ons and other products within Bookmap. So for example, the multi-account add-on that I showed just the other day, well, I've showed multiple times, in fact, how you can connect to one account, but then route your orders to several accounts. So if you're using one of those prop trader services, this is an excellent tool. So you can have multiple accounts and just take one trade, but then even using multiples. So for example, one trade with one lot, but you can have it trade two lots in another account, etc. We also have access to the pace of tape. Maybe I'll demo that for you today. And we also have this new Market Pulse tool on the web. I highly recommend that you check that out. Well, all of these, in fact, the new heat map, very interesting product. And in terms of looking at the stock indexes in futures, well, you can also look at the Magnificent Seven or individual stocks, bellwether stocks within the free Market Pulse web tool for now. This is a real boon for you because you won't have to pay for the data. So if you're interested in any of these products, then please reach out to us at beta@bookmap.com. There's also the Blue Jacket competition that starts on the 10th of every month or right around there. Goes until the end of the month, and you can win 3 months of data and Bookmap for free. So if you want to document and journalize your content, and you might as well, because especially the Academy guys, we have the Bookmap Academy meetings every Thursday at market close, where it's a mentoring and a coaching program. We have coaches go through your content, and we open the mic for you to speak so that you can tell us what you're thinking about, and try to do the best we can to mentor you here over at Bookmap. All right, let's jump in. Let's take a look at these markets here. I am looking at the S&P E-mini, and you can see that we here's a 9:30 cash open, move to the upside, move right back down, high liquidity hit here, well, multiple places actually. Okay, this is what we were covering the last few days. So understanding supply and demand here. All right, so in the heat map, look at this area here. Let me see if make sure everything's okay here. Hold on a minute, and let me jump over to see if there's any comments or questions at this point. Good morning, everybody. All right, Caesar, Stephen, Dan, Alois, Rob, Alan. All right, Hector. Okay, let's continue on. The Again, understanding supply and demand here. Now we're going to look at this time frame in here, just the data that we have in the viewable chart here. It's looking pretty back and forth. However, just recently we can see a lot of supply coming in. Okay, now there's two types of supply. This is just a recap, but it will be very, very helpful. Good morning, Dieter, over on YouTube. Why, or what do I mean by two types of supply and two types of demand? All right, let's just take the heat map off. Okay, supply and demand in terms of the aggressor. These are the market buy and sell orders. And this is the kind of volume or the transactions we're typically looking at in your bar chart data. So in the sub chart, like we have here, you can see your bars and it will tell you like how many sellers compared to buyers, etc. Yeah, in fact, it's in Bookmap, you're able to see quite a bit more. If we just take the dots off and look at your bar data, it's going to look something like this. And we can even take best bid and offer off. It's not telling you much. It really is not telling you much at all. Where did the volume pick up? Okay, well, we have it in the bar data in the sub chart. It's not on the chart. We don't know where it took place on this candle here. That's a very opaque view of the marketplace, and we're trying to make very important financial decisions with very little insight here, and understanding where the traders are transacting. So anyway, this would be supply because these are the aggressors, market sell, and there's a lot of them. Okay, we can see that there's big candles and we can see big volume bars too. So we know there's a lot of sellers coming in compared to the open, and look at the buyers in here. It's pretty paltry. Okay, even though we see this move to the upside in here, these bars in here, this is on lower volume basically compared to these sellers here. Right, so if that is the case, then we're looking for more supply from the aggressors to come in, right, and bring price lower into these areas here. Now, maybe they will, maybe they won't. How can we get further insight here? Let's take the candlestick chart off and let's put the volume dots on. And again, we're just covering here the supply of the aggressors, okay, and the demand of the aggressors. The green dot is a market buy. That would be demand, aggressive demand, and this is aggressive supply here. With the red dot and market sell orders. Right now, they're dominating the price action right now. In fact, look where we came back up to in here, and this is the kind of stuff I just love seeing in Bookmap. Look at this big transaction here on the sell side. Look where we come back and retest. Okay, right to it. This is a high volume node on a small time frame. In fact, we can even get that high volume node. We can zoom in here and look at that area in here. And here's our high volume node right here, right here. Okay. Now it's a high volume node for this little area, trending area here. That's where we came back. We did not find buyers above it. Sellers come right back in. Okay, so now we're, as we had mentioned earlier, we saw a lot of sellers. We see not too many buyers. We're still looking sell side here. Okay, and we're looking for retesting back down to the swing and maybe even breaking it. Now, the other question here is, now we see this kind of battle between buyers and sellers, the aggressors, the ones that can move price. But we don't see the other side of the trade. So what does that look like? Now we're going to talk about, in fact, I'm going to take off the dots and we're going to put the heat map back on. And we're just going to look at best bid and offer or streaming price action. And we're going to look at passive demand here on the bid underneath current price or historical price here. And then passive supply above price. Okay. And what is that context like? Okay, well, here is our context here that we've been covering the last few days. In fact, let me get this going here and trade into our demo account. Okay, So it looks like I need to first here and stop this one. Okay. And let's go back to this one. And now we can start it. Okay. Okay. All right. So here we go. This is what we talked about the last few days. We were talking about for the last 5 or 10 years, basically. This is the passive demand here. Now, we know that there's more supply by the aggressors here because they trade into and through that area. Again, into and through, and then finally, at a certain point, we can see that, well, there's less sellers. And this demand here in the heat map here, which is just limit buy orders, that's all it is. And we see a bounce out of this area here. Okay, so either it's totally absorbed, or there's just more demand in here, or we just don't find any more sellers. Whatever it is, we get a pullback. And look where we go back up to, into the supply by the passive limit sell orders up in this area here. We noted earlier we came back up into a big transaction and then failed to get above it here. Okay, so that's why we're still looking for sell side in this small time frame here. Okay, now that can shift and change, but that's what we're looking for right now. All right. Let's turn on the volume dots though, and we'll look at the complete picture here. All right. Okay. So now we have the aggressors supply and demand versus the passive supply and demand. And this is the context that we want to understand. Okay, so how is it reacting down here? Well, here is demand and sellers trade into it and we get a little bit of a bounce. All right, so are we getting a lot more buyers up in here? We're getting more in this little zone or range in here. Looks like actually it's kind of equal. Maybe a bit more buying than selling right now. Okay, now let's see if we can get a squeeze here. Let's see if these sellers can squeeze these buyers in here. It looks pretty good. It's pretty well set up in here, and there's demand down below here. So I'm looking for sellers here to hit the bid into maybe this 60.21 and 60.21 and a quarter. Okay, and that's it. And I'm looking for a stop run to unfold here too, because I know that there are buyers in here, right? And I know that they're not getting traction. How do I know that? Let me see if Alan. Good morning, Malek. What do you think? What's your answer, or anybody? Why aren't these buyers getting traction in here? Okay, there's more of them. I mean, we see the divergence here in CVD, which just is giving us within this little range in here. We know there's more buyers than sellers. Okay, but so far they're not getting traction. Okay, they may, right? Something can upend here, and maybe we get the trapped sellers in here. But at this moment here, no aggressive buyers. No. It's more about the price structure. So we know that they're not getting traction because they're unable to trade back into the highs. Okay, now they are. Okay, but they just traded up into this liquidity here. Okay, so the battle is still kind of on right now, right? But that's why we typically look for the price structure is very telling, and we look for more selling to hit into the liquidity. Okay, now this actually works much better at the top of a range, to be honest, instead of the bottom of the range. But it depends, on the environment here. But this is the same idea in here, and this is a very small reversal pattern here. You can see like a rounded top or head and shoulders. Here come our buyers. First off, they trade into high liquidity, but there's still more demand, and they're able to trade higher. Okay, here we get a pullback, a retest of the high. We get some buyers up in here. We get another pullback. Okay, so we're not really, we're kind of going sideways now. And then we see more sellers here, and look at the buyers come back up. Okay, here is where we're getting some insight. Okay, at least by the two things here that we have in context. Well, there's three. We have this high liquidity that absorbed a lot. Okay, like you said, Stephen. And then secondly, now we have a price structure up here going kind of back and forth or sideways. And then we also have little clusters of selling starting to come in. But you can see down here, if you know, it's a little more difficult to see looking at the dots. Okay, but you can see some of that selling coming in here. Okay, here and here. Now look at the buyers come back up here. Okay, not too many. And they can't, they kind of made an equal high here, but we do see the best offer went up one tick higher, and here it did not. We see another cluster of selling. Here we see no buying, okay, and we see more selling in here. So now these buyers are unable to take it higher. So we're looking for sellers down into these areas in here, and then for them to take price into high liquidity on the bid someplace. Okay, so they pulled actually a lot of that liquidity along the way here. Okay, so this again is a very simple thing. However, it's very telling. It's the price structure and the volume. A lot of you guys have been talking about oh God, what's the name? Carolyn. I forget the author. Maybe I can look it up here quickly. Hold on, I've got the book myself. A lot of people refer to it. I think I know that Options Millionaire did. He refers to it all the time. Yeah, here it is. It is Anna Cool. Oh, it's hard to read here. Hold on a minute. Yeah, Anna Cooling about price action and volume. Oh, hold on a minute. Now I open the book. Just a second. Yeah, complete guide to price. Sorry, guys. Getting there. Yeah, complete guide to volume price analysis. That's what it is. VPA. Yeah. Good morning, Trader Pete. Yeah, thank you, Malek. I think you maybe referred to it as well. Well, here it is right in front of us. You know, we can even dim the heat map. These are the two elements that she's looking at, and these two elements are very powerful. Okay, so volume structure, price action structure. Okay, which is this here. Okay, just best bid and offer, or it could be bar data, whatever. But we know that this structure is starting to wane. We're making equal lows and lower highs in here. Right now, we can confirm it with volume. Looking pretty good. All right, now with Bookmap, though, this is something that she avoids because she doesn't really have access to it. You know, that understanding the other side of the trade here, the high liquidity. Okay, some absorption on the way up. Okay, still more demand, right? Now the demand is waning. They're not able to come up into this high liquidity or this supply here on the offer. This is where we're starting to look for it to break, at least pull back. And I would look for the pullback into high liquidity or some of the structural areas as well. And that's exactly what it did. It came back down to this structural area here. Now there's a lot of pulling of liquidity in here, but not enough supply, aggressive supply here to take it lower at this point. Yeah, Caesar, just keep looking for these things, right? And then there's all sorts of things to glean from this in here, and it happens over and over and over and over again, always. Okay, this is just one variation of it, but it's some sort of variation like this. right? Now, what I mentioned and why I went there was because I wanted to go through. God, it was this little structure here. I just wanted to go through this little reversal structure and say that when price is up higher, it is easier to take this to the downside. When price is lower like this, a lot of times it depends. You'll get some back and forth like we are right now. Okay, because at this point here, we were still looking for this to come back down to 60-20. Okay, or the swing here, and we didn't. There's not much liquidity in here that gave us much insight. A little bit here, and then here, and they transacted. Okay, so now it's getting pretty interesting here. Here's our sellers, and now the same thing. We're looking for sellers to make an equal low or a lower low here. Now, what is this telling us in here? Okay, so they're bidding up in here. Okay, so we see the bid at a higher level in here. We're getting sellers in here, but are these sellers gaining traction? Okay, so yeah, now they're starting to gain a little bit, but I was just about to say I would give the nod to the sellers here. However, I would say this is not high probability. Okay, this is what unfolded, right? We did get the sellers; they were able to get some traction, but it's not a great setup here. In fact, the setup might be the opposite here: the false breakdown, come back into the range, and then maybe we can trade up to this 27 level. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if we can get that. All right. So now, in fact, we can look at these things and even look for some positions in here. Okay, so for example, let's see if we can get more buyers in here right now, and then yeah, maybe I'll be a buyer here, right? Just a small pullback here, and then I would look for the buyers to try to take it back up to the swing up here or this liquidity up here. Now, what I don't like about this position, okay, and I'll keep it on, maybe we'll get filled here, is that we didn't really trade into the high liquidity. Okay, so we still have that option here for these sellers to trade into that high liquidity. Okay, so again, guys, this is not a trade recommendation. We're just going through this and setting some orders in here to give us some insight. Okay, so so that you can understand, like, all right, well then how do I use trade management within the order flow as well? Okay, now the one thing like I said, now this may work out, but there's one thing I just don't like about it here. It did not trade into this high liquidity down here. Okay, so that means that we can still find more supply by the aggressors to trade into the high liquidity at these lower levels here. All right, instead of getting that move up into the high liquidity up here on the offer. All right. Yeah, so that's exactly what's unfolding. So let's see here. What we can do is we can exit the position and then just look for a better setup here, or we can add into it. If this was it's 5 contracts, but maybe we divvy it up in here and say that would be like a third of our position, and we'd put another one down here or down in this area here, something like that. Okay, where are our buyers now? Okay, I don't like it. I'm gonna cancel or flatten, right? It's not doing what we were looking for. I'm out. Okay, we'll look for the next one. Okay, it's a little bit difficult of a read right now. It may work out, but I'm just going to cut my losses on that, and we'll look for the next one. All right. Let's see here. Am I solely trading futures? No. Also some stocks, but I mean some longer term stuff, Caesar. So yes, it's different. Also some options, a longer term again. All right, let's zoom out a little bit here. All right, so our swing here, and we just didn't hit that high liquidity in here, at least not yet. Yeah, I used to trade Forex, not anymore. Malek, it was such a, unless it's longer term, I've had it with Forex. Nancy Pelosi follows my trades. Geez, that would actually be a high honor, I think, because I think that wasn't it her or her, I don't know, they're just getting tremendous insights that any hedge fund would kill. I mean, almost literally kill for. you know they have such an advantage, and it's very kind of hush hush, but um, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like, Congress just has access to those things, that information, and also power to uh, wield that information into something actionable. All right, and that'll be way before you and I ever get there. All right, let's see here. All right, guys, any questions so far? Let me. What is my main strategy, DD? Really, it's just supply and demand. I go through. It can be applied to any type of strategy, really. So let's take a look at this in here. We were just looking at this, and we didn't trade into our high liquidity, and we thought, well, look, maybe we were looking for the sellers to take it down. They did, and then and we kind of missed that, but that was where we gave the nod to, and then it rejected, though, and it came back up. So that's why I thought, okay, we'll look for a small pullback and then look for this to come back up. And we didn't know that this was going to happen. What I didn't like about this setup is I didn't have all the pieces here. Okay, and that's what I'd like to have, basically, is all of these pieces together, and then take a position. We know that it traded into high liquidity down here, or this is a stop run, and or there's a lot of iceberg orders transacting there. In fact, let's turn on the stops and icebergs here. Okay, so I'm looking at Trader Map Lite here, in Bookmap, which all of you have access to. It's free, so you can look at your stops and icebergs on here. Okay, so it is a stop run here. I do not see any icebergs, but I have a filter on it. So let's go back to here, and I have a filter on this, which I want to take off. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so there was no icebergs down here, but it's definitely a stop run here of 118, which isn't bad. All right, guys. So now let's getting interesting. Okay, so high liquidity just transacted up here. Now the sellers are coming in. All right. So now what pieces do we have in here? Okay. Well, the offer is starting to show a little bit of interest in here. Now our price structure though, we broke it. We broke the swing. We're making higher lows in here. So it's a little conflicting here. Don't really see an edge at the moment. The way we were demoing this last few days was doesn't matter. I mean, just to make the point that high liquidity is vitally important. Understand this context here. So the demand met the supply, and we see sellers now. So now have these sellers met the demand? No. All right. So if that's the case, then let's just dump in an order here, and then I'm looking for sellers now to try to hit the demand here, either here or down here. I'll front run this one down here. Okay, because I know that they traded here, right? They traded into it. And then we even see after they trade into it, buyers were unable to take it higher. Okay, at this time. Now this is a horrible. This again, this is not a good position. But I just want to demo this idea that we're looking for. What we know at the moment was high supply transacted, and buyers couldn't get through it. Now I'm looking for the aggressive supply here, moving price lower to meet the demand. Okay, and that demand is down here. Okay? And I'm actually below it here. I'm looking for a little bit higher liquidity, our 60-20 area again, down here. Okay, now here let's take a look at some volume profile stuff. Well, is that a good idea? I mean, this is this is the high volume node right here. Okay, so price will probably just chop around in here. What I'm looking for then is really high supply here by the aggressors to move price and to move it down into these lower levels down here. So you can see like DD, you're asking about my favorite or main strategy or setup. There's little bits and pieces of everything in here, but truly when it comes down to it, it's the supply and demand. And I will we can take this and extrapolate it to our daily chart as well. Okay, starting to find a little bit of some buyers here. It's pretty choppy. I mean, like look at all of the volume in here. It is pretty back and forth. Okay, but again, I'm just looking for this here, this supply up here, and I'm looking for the sellers to meet the demand down here, and that's it. This was a stop run here of 118 contracts. We can zoom into that area if you want to see it in more detail. Okay, are we getting enough supply in here by the aggressors here to move price lower? It's not bad. And look at this demand here, they're getting out of the way. So this bodes well for us to try to at least trade to the swing and maybe through it to hit the demand down here at 60.20. Okay, so we're just going to hold that position, and let's see if we can get maybe another stop run too. Maybe around 100 or so. Here's 69 that just got stopped out, and we're getting more supply coming in here, more aggressors. And let's see if they can squeeze these buyers in here and push it into our high liquidity down here at 60.20. There we go. There it is. Okay. So again, look, this isn't this is I haven't really DD to get back and answer your question about this. Um, this isn't. This can be turned into a strategy. This is not it here, though. All right. You know, this example. This is just demoing that we traded into high supply up here, and we're looking for when we saw sellers come in. So we're looking for them to trade down to the demand in these areas here because we haven't traded to it. Okay, that makes sense. And yes, it is a stop run here. Here's 155. Now it's getting really interesting down here. In fact, look at us trade into high liquidity, and we have not only a stop run, we have icebergs down here. Okay, so this means there's still more demand. It's hidden demand. All right, so we can look at it in a different way in here. Okay, so I'm looking for, now we're trading into it here, and we can even set a like a buy stop here. Okay, and I'm looking for buy because we traded into the demand here. Now I'm looking for the aggressors to take me out of it and then take it back up into some of these areas here. Maybe if this could be a mean reversion trade. This is something Alan looks at all the time, is his mean reversion trade. Okay, so I'm going to look for where would I get out here? Well, let's take a look at where the demand is or the supply is. So you know, it's kind of grayish or bluish in here. We could just put it right here in front of the POC or the, you know, the point of control here. But I'm looking for that relationship again. Okay, now you can see there's some supply in here and it traded into it. Okay, so maybe I want to take some off then, you know, and maybe I want to consider like you know, if we traded into some, maybe we come back up here, I'll get out too. Okay, so now I just reduce some risk, and you know, maybe I see some of the supply up here. Well, okay, you can go with the mean reversion trade back to the POC. Maybe it will work, but I'm going to follow the traders in here. I'm going to follow the supply up in here. Okay, and I'm going to move it down a little bit. Okay? I want to kind of be in front of all of that supply here. Now, I don't know if they're going to pull it or not or add more. Maybe it'll scare price away. But this is what I know so far, and this is what I'm doing. Okay, and we'll see if something changes in here, then we'll look to do something different. This line in here is my break even. Look at that iceberg, follow it down here. And this little line in here, that beige line here at 60.20, that's my average position. See, so right now, you know, I took some off here. I took 2 off, and I had 3 on. Okay, so now I'm at actually. You can see as soon as I took 2 off, my break even went down to here. So it's just playing around with my break even at the moment. Okay, and if it goes below my break even in here, well, then I'll be at a loss, okay, on this trade. And that's that. All right, let's do something else. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm going to put. I can see the some of that supply in here coming in, and I'm going to take 2 off at the top of the range here, and then or just in front of the top of the range. Actually, I think we can get it, and then I'm going to put 1 more on up here, and we'll go for that mean reversion trade. Okay, just for kicks and see if we can get it. So, you know, what we've been covering the last few days was the kind of more of a reversal or a bounce out of the high after trading into high liquidity. Okay, I wanted to go over another strategy which we're kind of not doing yet. We did it on the way down here, for sure. But the opposite of looking for it to trade into the high liquidity, instead we look for the high liquidity to be the target. And we did do that kind of on the way down here, because we traded up here, and then the target is now down here where the demand is, where these limit buy orders are. All right, so now we did get our move to the top of the range, okay, and we took some off. So we only have one contract left on, and my break even is now even way down here. Right, but my average is still here because I did not add any to it, so it's still here at that 60-20. Guys, this is a lot lower time frame stuff, but like we've said for a long time, this works on all time frames. It really does. We'll go back and we'll look at our candlestick chart in just a minute. The old saying, in blackjack, a push is a win. Malek, I mean, like, as long as you have, your checklist, like we went over in the academy, make sure you have your reasons for getting into the trade. If in this webinar in here, I'm kind of, I'm not shooting from the hip necessarily, but like going over trade management within this kind of supply and demand concept and idea. Okay, that's it. So this is not really, please, this is not a trade recommendation. This is not a trade following room at all. This is an order flow reading room. And then also we want to bring in and trade management along with it. Okay. So if your setup is met with, and your checklist, your bullet points within your checklist is met, then you're justified to take the trade. All right, I just want to get that point across. It's really, really important. All right, like this example in here where we took a small loss. Well, we didn't, and it actually became it did work out, but it just wasn't high probability. And it wasn't because of this. We didn't really trade into that high liquidity down here. So, we didn't have all the pieces. So I decided to just exit. So we took a couple of tick loss on that one. All right, guys. Well, what do you guys think now, though? What does it look like in here, price structure wise? I'd give the nod to the sellers. Right? Look at this. Buying here, but we're lower. And now we don't know. As always, we never know, but we try to read this behavior in here and then look for what our actions are going to be, and try to ride with the majority of the other traders in here. Okay, so yeah, it's breaking. Now it's trading into high liquidity down here. Okay, at 18 and a half. 18 and a half area in here. Okay, so now it's really, we knew that this was starting to fail in here, and then this is kind of nice in here actually. Here's our sell dot. Here's our exhaustion. Now we don't have much in terms of liquidity in here, but this is just structure and volume. That's it. our structure and transactions. Okay, so we don't, it's not about liquidity in here. All right, so let's see here now. All right, so now you can see we're almost getting down to our break-even point here. Okay, I'm gonna I want to watch and wait and see what happens when we trade into this. Okay, this liquidity in here. Okay, just to go through the process. Okay, I would anticipate a bit of a pullback here after trading into this liquidity. Okay, now where would that pullback go to? Likely here. Okay, right around here where it dropped from. Okay, and then where's there the high liquidity? Well, it's actually a little bit lower here, and then higher here. Okay, so then let's just be more realistic. Let's put it's going to be right at break even, or our average price here. Okay, which is where we entered. Okay, in our last contract. Okay, well, the price came up and tested right to the tick, but not a transaction up here. So we're not going to get filled there. Okay, so now it's going against us, and I'm seeing a lot of sellers coming in. I'm looking for these sellers to hit into this liquidity down here. And now I'm just going to get out. I'm going to flatten it then. Okay, I don't know. All of a sudden there might be a ton of buyers that come in here, stream right in here, and move price back up to our original idea, which we held out for here, was the point of control here. Okay, but I'm just going to call it quits. Okay, because to me it looks like we're still seeing more sellers here. All right, guys, good context here. Getting near the low of day here, you can see that on our profile here, the low of days, at least that I have for the cash session, or it's no, it's even before the cash. Cash sessions. We're at lows already. This was the swing that I have here, back at 526 or so. Okay, here comes some context. This is, high liquidity. We just trade into it. We look for a bounce. We're getting it. Looking for it to trade back up to 20 here. All right. So this is very aggressive here. So please don't, this is not a trade following room again. But the idea is very simple. Like, we traded into high liquidity, and now we're finding aggressors. Now we're going to trade it back into high liquidity here. And now I know that this is low volume compared to the selling in here. I know that. The idea, though, is that we're looking for these buyers here to trade up into that high liquidity. And so, yeah, it's not working out. But we can see let's see if we hit this liquidity here at 15, and then maybe get our bump. Okay, this was very aggressive here. but we're looking for the move back up to this 20 level. And it's not looking good. Okay, but what we've got on our side here is definitely high liquidity being filled on the bid in these areas here. Okay, so now let's see if we get a little bit of divergence in the sell side here. Okay, sellers, some buyers, that's going to create a little bit of divergence in here. Not really. Still more sellers in here. Look what's happening here. Okay, this happens all the time. You know, the market's dynamic. And they actually started to pull some of that liquidity though. So, you know, these guys didn't want to be sellers here. Okay, so they pulled it. So we're still looking for this 20 level here to transact. Okay, now that's kind of a big ask. At least we made an equal low here, but you know, we're still kind of trending down. And then, yeah, you can see the sellers come in immediately at the top of the range here. And look at the offer here. All right, so our aggressive idea here is not working out. Okay, I'm going to exit it. Okay, it was just the only idea here was high liquidity, and then we're getting a bounce here. We're starting to find some buyers, so we're just looking for these buyers to trade up to here. That was it. Okay, now it still may do it. You know, we're still making equal lows here. We made a little bit lower high here, and we saw quite a bit of selling here, right? So it's just not worth it. And you can see like a very aggressive here, and you know, it is ending up working out. But yeah, look for pullbacks basically. All right, some exhaustion here. The offer is still strong here. Like I said, this is back and forth in here, but I would give it the nod here to the sellers and look for them to trade back down into this liquidity. Okay, 14, 15, maybe down to 12 as well. Okay, in retrospect now, if we look back at this in here, high liquidity, we're looking for a bounce, okay, or a pullback or sideways action, or even a potential reversal. And what did we get so far? We just got this kind of sideways action. Okay, it did slow price down, and we would anticipate that. See his Valley fan in here. No. Yeah, I kind of covered this the other day, like you know, trading around your levels, for example. Something that a Valley fan does at his his pivot levels. Okay, It's the same idea that he's using for his Camarilla pivot levels. We're going to cover it though in terms of liquidity. So here we did get a small bounce here. Sometimes we just don't get that. Sometimes we don't get any bounce at all. Okay, so what do? Well, you can be aggressive and get in sell side and look for the next and trade it down to the next level. That's aggressive. Or you can wait for the next level. Okay, and then what you want to see is those buyers starting to come in. Okay, kind of like this here, but you need to see more, right? And that's actually what we're looking for in here as well. And we're looking for more, we're not really quite getting it yet. I don't see it yet. This looks very, very sideways action to me. There's even more sellers than buyers according to CVD. Okay, there's some divergence though in that. We made a lower low here on CVD, but not here on price action. Okay, so we can look for a nice little squeeze here to the upside, to be honest. All right, Malek, you're done for the day. All right, yeah. I was hoping that you were done for the day because of a bunch of winners here. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is not a trade following room. Okay, so it's this is just about understanding this dynamic in the order flow, and then we'll put put it to the test in here, and we'll put some orders on. This was overly aggressive here, no doubt. I'm still giving the nod to the sellers in here. Okay, look at this in here. This is the same thing we looked at earlier. The one caveat here is we're at the low of the range in here, right? That's where we can get upended here. Like we covered before, typically we like to see this at the top of a range. Okay, because there can be a real nice short squeeze here if buyers do decide to come in. All right. Now let's zoom out a little bit here. Boy, pretty ugly looking profile. Yeah, let's jump back to our higher time frame here and take a look and see what's going on. Okay, so in fact, here's our 15-minute chart. Okay, so a lot of momentum to the downside here. We can see that there's some pretty big wicks though here too. So price came all the way up here. It was green candle with a big wick here, and then it came all the way back down. And then you can see again, it opened here, went green, back up into here, and then right back down. This one's doing the same. Okay, so now we're going to look for some selling to come in and then hit maybe this 12 level down here, or maybe even lower. Okay, so what would that would relate to this swing right here, or lower would be here around this. We'd be below 6,000 at that point. Okay, is that what's going to happen? Well, I'm seeing selling pressure again here. Okay, so yeah, I would look for it. Okay, according to the higher time frame there. So now we're going to look for some pullbacks though here, because we'll just put some structural areas in here. We're going to look for some pullbacks, and here's why. All of these wicks in here, price went all the way back up, then back down, all the way back up, then back down. Okay, so here's our we got a bit of a pullback here. Okay, I'd give the nod to the sellers here. But like I said, I don't feel too confident about it here. We did not trade into that high liquidity yet. All right, sellers, we should see it. Okay, I would look for this move into this 12-13 level here. Okay, we're not getting it. Starting to find some buyers instead back in the range. All right, let me see if there's any more questions here. No. All right, this is kind of a little dull in here. Maybe we'll jump over to NASDAQ, or you guys want to take a look at crude oil or another market. We can even look at a stock. Same ideas, same concepts. All right, trade into high liquidity, okay, on Apple. Hey, look at that. All right, good. Now, stocks are a little different. We're looking for not only high liquidity in here, I'm looking also for the very high liquidity at some of the bigger figures. Okay, and that's up here at the 225.50, very high liquidity there. And then at 225 down here, there was high liquidity, but it traded through. Okay, so yeah, let's see actually now. We can get that pullback now. All right, let's just do it just for kicks. I won't be able to. I will not be able to. Yeah. Because I'm in the real trading mode here, even though it's into our 24/7 simulator. Okay, so yeah, I won't be able to for stocks, but we can with the NASDAQ Trader Map Lite in here. Okay, this is what I'm talking about here for you guys. Like, let me show this to you. You guys over in Discord know, but for the competition as well, same idea here that we, if I deselect it here, and we'll just reconnect here. I'll go to configure our trading simulator here, and then there's two different areas in here you can connect to, the demo and the competition. Okay, for the competition, this is what you'll need to select. For the demo, it is a real demo account on our server. So it will be all within our paper trading. Okay, and here we select it with a cross trading into NASDAQ right here, and we hit start, and we're ready to go. Okay, and then the beauty of this is like in the trading simulator here in this 24/7 sim account, you can't delete and edit your trades. They're in there. That's it. So for example, let's go to our trading journal here. All right, our trading statistics, and then open our trading journal here, and then we will see all of the trades taken in here. Okay, so these were, they should show up. Let's see. Yeah. Is this it? No, this isn't it. Oh, why aren't they showing up? Let's enter date here. There it is. Okay, there we go. So here are our trades here, right? Today's the 12th. So you can filter by the date here, or you can filter by, profit, loss, MFE, MAE, whatever it is that you want to take a look at. You can see that I'm also getting charged commission in here. Okay. Now this like I said, this account in here, you don't have the option here to edit, delete these trades here. You can add a note, but you can look at, if I go to all trades, all my journals in here, then if I go to something that's not the demo, you can move them around into other accounts, etc. Yeah, here, move to or delete the trade. Right? I mean, maybe you took an erroneous trade, or maybe it's not inside your study, whatever it is, and that's why we want that flexibility for you guys. But for the simulator demo here, this is a great way to trade and kind of hold your feet to the fire a little bit, at least for the demo account. Because maybe you're trying to get funded as a trader. Well, this is a great way to go. Okay, you use this, okay, and use the trading journal and get some insight. All right, how's our NASDAQ doing here? Okay, so NASDAQ is selling off. Okay, that Apple should be selling off too. A little bit, not much. Okay, after trading into high liquidity, one more push. Then we're starting to see some selling. Okay, so our NASDAQ futures here. Okay, down to the swing here. And let's zoom in. Okay, and any questions in here? Let's see, Alois, you got a question. All right, or you got a request. Yeah, I already forwarded this request just today, Alois. I saw it in the Discord Slack chat that you have access to. Yep. So multiple rhythmic accounts. Understood. I think what we're going to try to do, though, instead of offering multiple rhythmic accounts, is just offer one, but being able to then spin your orders to multiple rhythmic accounts. Okay, so I don't know what you think of that, Alois, but we've looked into this in detail, and that might be a lot less confusing, a lot easier on your software. Yeah, Trader Pete. Yeah, we're working on it. Well, Pete, have you seen this yet? Let me demo this for you. Our multi account, which I don't have selected right now. All right, so let's do it. We'll select it here, and I'm actually not sure if this is going to work. Let's just open up our demo account here. All right, so here's how you do it, and in fact, we'll just get rid of both of these and we'll redo it all together. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to, if you're a beta tester, like I said in the beginning of the webinar, you have access to come in here and get access to this multi-account trading. Okay, you download it, install it, check the box here, and then you can open your panel in here. You will not have anything in it. Your open positions and working orders and your executions, you will not see anything until you connect to your account or add your bot and start taking some trades. So we're going to call this one Pete, and I'm going to select, this is my primary account. I have 3 accounts here in Rhythmic: primary, secondary, and my tertiary here. Okay, so I got 3 accounts all together. I can put in different multipliers here too. So maybe in this account I want to trade 2 contracts to 1, or maybe 4 to 1 here with this one. Okay, and then you save it. All right, and then we select it. All right, so now I don't think it's going to route to it. No, I need to. This is where you need to route it to a different account here. Right now, it's going to the 24/7 simulator, right? So this should not show up. Okay, we'll take a position here. Okay, we're getting a really nice bounce out of these areas after all of that. Okay, but all right, let's see if we can get involved in here someplace. Let's just trade it. There we go. Okay, so now let's see if we open up our simulator. Okay, open our panel. Yeah, see, there's nothing in here right now. That's because I am now connected to the and I'm just going to flatten this. I am connected to the 24/7 simulator here. This will go to the journal, but it's not going to the Rhythmic account, right? So I need to go back to my Rhythmic account here. Okay, so I'm routing my trades now to, this is actually from Bookmap Data Trader Map Lite, but I'm going to route the trades to my Rhythmic account here. Okay, there you go. Okay, it's closed, and now it is routing to this account here, and there I've just enabled the cross trading, and then we'll select both, pin it. We'll take one here, and let's go through it again here. Okay, so we'll open up our copier bot, and this is the way the bot is going to spin the trades out to 3 different accounts here: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay. All right, so now we can take a position, and we should see the multiplier work as well. All right. Okay, so let's see here. Let's take a short, and let's see if we can just get back down to this liquidity here. I don't like it. Yeah, they're starting to pull up here, which I do not like it. But let's see if we can get the sellers one more push back down. Yeah, maybe we'll get it here, back down into this liquidity, around 84, 85. There we go. Okay. All right. So in fact, we'll do one more. Well, let's just check our results first. Okay, we'll open up the panel, and then here are our executions here. Right. Yeah. So here they are. All right, we'll do another one, and I want to show what it looks like live. All right, so just got in long. Now again, guys, I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here again. I want to show what it looks like though. In here, if we go to our account, open the panel, and then here's our working orders or positions. Okay, it says working orders here, positions here. So our working or our positions here, you can see here's my primary account for 1. Here's my secondary account for 2, right? The multiplier. And here's our third one here for 4. All right, and it says we're long. We can flatten them in here. We can manage the trade in here as well if we want. Okay. Here, let me also place a limit buy and a limit sell in some of these areas in here. We'll open it up again, and then you can see now my working orders here now. Okay, and I just got filled on those. So my working orders, oh, I have 2 up here, that's why. Okay, let's cancel one of them. All right. Okay, open the panel. There, now I have 3. Okay, it's this one up here that represents 3 different accounts though. All right, and there it is. Okay, so that's how it works: the open positions, working orders, and executions. It's really simple to use. I'm just getting clobbered. Yep, you're welcome, Pete. All right, well, let's see if we can get maybe something in here, maybe try to get back to an average. But not seeing much right now. It's really down here, 60. Maybe the 65 area here. maybe. Okay, and I got 2 orders on here. Now this is my primary account though. Remember, this represents 2 other accounts, not just one account, right? So I have 2 positions on here. So that means 4 on the one account and 8 on the other. So I'm going to get out 2 here as well. And let's put it in front of some high liquidity someplace. Yeah, by the swing here. Yeah, Pete, you're going to love this. Are you using any of these? Who in here is using some of these prop trading firm accounts? Yeah. Anyway, it's yeah. Thanks for the compliment, Uzu. Yeah, I mean, we worked hard to provide this very we think is pretty much top of the line order flow software here, showing you these details that others can't really. They can't show this kind of detail. You can look at this this pulling and adding of liquidity in here. Others will show tick data and it'll be aggregated within a tick, right? This is showing you everything. Okay, it's showing all time. That's why we can zoom into nanosecond levels, etc. This is good enough for me. I am out and take a small loss on that. Just trading back up to here, and it's weak. Okay, I would have gotten filled, or not quite, but that's fine. This is close enough, and I'm out. Yeah. All right. Now this is not going to show up in my 24/7 simulator. It will show up in my Rhythmic paper trading account. Okay, so if I go to my Rhythmic account here, then you will see that. Okay, we open up Rhythmic in here. And again, this is Rhythmic's demo account over here, the paper trading. This is going to be just like your services from the prop trading side, right? They're using exactly this. They're just using it on their servers, or at least retrieving the information from their servers. And we can look at our trader dashboard here, and yeah, here are our accounts here. Now they're all flat, right? But you can see our trading activity in here. All right, so this is where I'm routing the trades via the cross trading. Whereas before, earlier, I was not doing that. I was routing them into the Bookmap 24/7 simulator. All right, let's see if there's any questions. Okay, yeah, so you're fiddling around with them and trading them, Pete. Yep. Oh well, you can go down and download this right now. Just go. I mean, God, Pete, you're a moderator, so you have access right now to the beta rooms and go get it. Yeah, play around with it. Play around with it in the in Rhythmic paper trading if you can, and that's the way to go. And then or if you have some sort of demo accounts, I mean that's what I have basically. I have the 3 demo accounts here from Rhythmic in paper trading, and then you can see the bot here, right, that we created. Pretty straightforward. Just you want to add another account, just add another one in here. You'll see them all listed in here. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Let's see one last call for questions. Take a quick look. Yeah, Huzu, I would agree with you. Like, you know, this is showing you much more detail in here. And I know this looks kind of complex. It is not. It's just, this is just the limit sell orders here. And what looks to be really complex is just the adding and pulling of liquidity. Okay, so the high liquidity is here and here. Okay, at this 21, 190 and 88 level. So if we trade into that, then we can look for, we would anticipate a bounce, right? So here we go, right? Okay, all right, there we go. Now I'm just going to take a quick position. I'm not looking for much out of this because we're trending up, and there we go. We did get our pullback. Now it would probably come back to here because that's where the higher liquidity is on the pullback here. Okay, and that's it. So it was a very, very quick scalp. Anyway, you get the idea. You know, this would be the anticipated something. One of 3 or 4 things can happen up here. We trade into high liquidity. Now we may get more demand by the aggressors and we'll trade through this like a knife through, you know, hot knife through butter up into the next level. Okay, so just take your loss or wait for your turnaround in here. Something like this in here is actually not bad for entry, to be honest, and then look for a lower level. I kind of was a bit of a chicken here because I'm getting in very aggressively in here and then looking for a bit of a pullback. I didn't want to get squeezed. So we're looking for a number of things here. Number one, it can continue on up, blazing through all of this high liquidity on the offer. Okay, then we look for the next level, and then we look for a pullback. Okay, so the other thing we can look for is exactly this here. Okay? And in fact, this is maybe a little bit much. I would look for this area here to trade. Okay, and just go sideways in this area here. Now it's gone down lower. Okay, so there's not as many buyers in here. So we'd look for now the next level of liquidity down in these areas here. Okay. So maybe it comes into this area, or maybe it comes down into like what we just outlined here, maybe the bigger range here. Okay, that's another possibility. So we're talking about ranges in here, or we can look for a reversal. Okay, now the reversal is, you know, reversals don't happen too often. You know, that we get kind of sideways or trending. But reversal, then we'd look for the aggressors on the sell side to bring it down to lower levels and lower liquidity. Okay, and charge down into those areas. And you can see that we're not quite getting it yet. We might, but it's just maybe, you know, doing a kind of a shoulder here, and then look for, again, sellers here, and then trade back down to here at 172, 167, 165. All right, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. Please hit the like button, put a comment in there, follow us. Better yet, come over to our Discord channel. Join the community over here. We've got a great community, and we have the Bookmap Academy. We'll meet on Thursdays and open the mic for you guys to go through your content and your trades so that you guys can get some feedback. That's our mentoring program over here, our coaching program. Right. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody, and we will catch up with you on Friday. Tom B is next, volume profile trader, then God, I forget what the rest of the schedule is. Just come over to Discord and check it out. We've got Streamers all day long. Okay. Yep. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye bye.